Hi, my name is Jesse St. Laurent, and I'm the CTO here at Tuono. We founded Tuono to deliver portable cloud infrastructure as code, with less code, less time, and less complexity. This is going to be a demo of our SaaS platform where we take a single cloud-agnostic blueprint and we create infrastructure in both AWS and Azure. The two areas I want to walk through are the blueprints and environments, but we'll start with the blueprint. The blueprint we're going to use today is this demo blueprint, which shows you creating a location, a folder, some networking infrastructure, subnet, etc. We're going to jump into the environments, and we have both a demo AWS and demo Azure environment. So I'll go in here and hit apply of the demo blueprint in the AWS environment, and then go to the same thing here in the Azure environment. Now, environments can have multiple blueprints. They can have variables for those blueprints. This is a very simple one that has a single blueprint and a single variable for the public SSH key in it. If I go and look now at the Azure environment, we have an empty Azure console, no resources exist here, and go into AWS, we see the same thing here. There's no resources created yet. So if we go back and look at that blueprint for a second, and I'll put a link into the description of this video that has a link to this blueprint if you want to check out the code. This is a declarative blueprint, so when we apply it, we're going to build exactly what this says in the public cloud. If some of it already exists, that's okay. We'll build what's needed to deliver on this. So I mentioned subnets, protocols. We're actually going to define some firewall rules in here as well. Pick an image for our compute, and then build an instance, define some cores and memory. That's the system that we're building. So if we jump over into those environments and we look at the state of this apply here, we're now seeing this blueprint being applied into Azure in this case. So the Tuono Intent Engine transforms our human readable blueprint into the required public cloud objects, calculates all the object dependencies, etc. during the prepare phase. You can see that's done. It's now in the preview phase. The preview phase is analyzing what exists right now in the public cloud and what changes are required to make the public cloud match that declared blueprint. And then the last phase is execution. So we're just starting to execute here. And this is where we'll go communicate with the public cloud, actually create, modify, delete any objects in that public cloud as needed. And at the same time, manage all the errors, timeouts, events, delays that come from the public cloud during that execution. Now, with the Azure environment applying, let's go back and check out what's happening in the AWS environment. If we look at the details of this job, this one's applying as well, and it's just about finished up. It's going through the last couple of steps there. Now, the preview phase, if we drill into the details, it's going to tell us exactly what we're planning to do. So it'll tell us what objects we're creating, the names of those objects, and once we're complete, we'll come back with the definition of exactly what was done as well, IP addresses, all that kind of information. So if we refresh here in Azure, nothing's showing up yet. If we refresh in the AWS environment, we're starting to see components show up in that environment. There's a little bit of a lag between what's happening in the actual infrastructure and what shows up within the console. So we'll give that just a second, reload it. Now we've got our instance, we've got our elastic IP, we've created a couple of security groups, key pairs, etc. And to show you the differences, if we go into these security groups and pull up a specific one, we can see this is what we told it to create, port 22, port 443 inbound, necessary outbound. Let's go back to Azure. If we refresh in Azure, we see our objects here. Go ahead and look. We've created rules in Azure as well, but they look very different. We've got port 443 and port 22, but what we've created is a very different set of rules to actually get that functionality. So if we go back and look at these, we've actually successfully completed the application in both AWS and Azure. Now this is all about creating new infrastructure today, but this system can be used just as easily to modify or delete infrastructure. So if I hit destroy, it'll tear down everything we've built. Or if I go modify that blueprint and save it, come back and hit apply, it'll make only the necessary changes to make the public cloud environment match my declared blueprint infrastructure. Thanks for checking out the demo. Check us out at www.tuono.com.